making sure that we're asking, as doctors, that we're asking men the appropriate questions.
Yes, yes. And sometimes people are like, oh, it's so commonplace. It's so commonplace now in society that it must not be real evidence. But that's not the case. And I wonder when it comes to these self-care practices, do you find that men have barriers to practicing them? And what are the barriers?
Well, I mean, if we just look at some statistics here, as a psychiatrist, you know this. So in the United States alone, there are over 140 suicides on average every single day. And men die by suicide about, 3 to 4 times. Some people even say up to 5 times as often as women do, despite the fact that women are diagnosed with depression about twice as often as men are. And we know that depression, along with other mental illnesses, would increase your risk for suicide. Now, one of the things I think we need to be particularly cautious about or mindful about is, making sure that we're asking, as doctors, that we're asking men the appropriate questions, right? Because I've noticed that men.
What are the appropriate questions?
Well, I mean, men tend to minimize symptoms at times, right? And so, just making sure that we're asking them, if they're isolating, or asking them, it could be a simple question about how they're feeling, right? Making sure that we're going beyond these PHQ-9 rating scales in primary care visits, and actually, taking some time to ask men how they're doing, right?
And
We also know.
when you do ask that question, I wonder, what are they telling you? What are the common pain points that men are telling you that comes up?
Right. So, I mean, you'll see things like men will talk about, quote unquote, losing their edge, right? Or men will describe being more irritable. We know that irritability can be a sign or symptom of depression in men more often than, quote unquote, sadness could be, for example. Men will talk about, feeling indecisive, or wanting to cut back from work, or having problems in their relationship. And then a lot of times you'll say, well, are you feeling depressed? They don't like that word. They don't like that, the D word, right? And so they, no, it's not depression. It's just this other thing, right? And so I think, again, just creating that space, that environment where, men can share their experiences regardless of whether or not they're using that word. And then, as not only psychiatrists, but as friends, as family members, as people who are interacting with guys, just making sure they have a space to talk. And oftentimes I find myself, inviting other guys out for coffee, or just taking someone out for lunch and asking them how they're doing, and just
Oh my
creating
gosh,
that
lovely.
space for them to share their experience.
Yes, yes. And I tell that to my guy friends as well, that they should ask their friends. They should be a bit vulnerable and disclose what is troubling them. And
Right,
men don't do that often. And so I love that you normalize men
right.
talking about with other men and opening up and being vulnerable on how they're really doing. And in your work with men, what are the